This is a video that I wasn't going to make, but I'm going to make anyway, or will be revealed. It is all about the Eccentric brake pins from Sticky and Cusp Performance. If you fancy having a watch of that, grab yourself a coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Look at the state of my bench. That's just the way it looks here while I'm in full restoration mode of George's Series 2. Now the engine is on here. The reason why I haven't done this video earlier is because my wife broke her leg and it's been cold, and I wanted to do it slightly differently this video. I actually want to fit these, and within a couple of weeks that means I'll be able to run in this engine and test how these brakes actually work out on the road, because proof is in the pudding. So first off, I'd like to say, why do you need to fit these Eccentric brake pin posts? Yeah, well, the reason is, we all know rear brake on the Lambretta is pretty shit and dismal at best. And if you're in the unfortunate position of having a lovely Indian engine case, they made matters worse by actually drilling the holes unparalleled. So they made a terrible product, or a terrible design, even worse. So I was thinking really that the best proof of the pudding would be to do it on an Indian case, but because of the way the design is, you really should go and have a look how British bike brakes work. It's different. This is a terrible design, because when you actuate the cam, you end up just pushing the shoe so that the leading edge of the shoe touches the brake drum, or the rear edge touches the brake drum, and you don't get anything else. And then you've got all these fancy tools where you can shape and cut the brake shoes so that they work sort of a little bit better. And that's in Eccentric design, because they knew right from the get-go that this was a terrible design. If you ask me, I think that's correct. So I think it goes without saying that brake pads should be new, because if you've been using your brake out on the road, they are going to be off-center worn. And the best way to get the best result on this is by using brand new brake pads. These, incidentally, these have Georgie has bought these already. The guy who owns the Series 1, they are from New Friend. And this is what you get in the kit. My kit I got for free, thank you very much, just for testing. And testing I wanted to do, so that's why I've delayed the video, because I actually want to get out on the road and feel how it feels. If you get my gist. Right, so the tool itself is this. You can buy just the so if you're buying several of these, you can get away with just buying the single tool, or if you've got a club together and stuff like that, and then you can buy the brake pin kit separately. But I got both of these together for the test, and yeah, quite looking forward to fitting this. The thing is, unlike most scooter products, they come with a proper, concise instruction booklet. You can tell that Sticky made the Sticky's manual, because here he goes into full detail of how we fit these. So we're going to be running through this step by step and doing it properly. He's also made a video, I think it's either on Sticky Features or Casa Performance YouTube channel, where he shows how to fit these. I've seen it a couple of times. I actually find it goes a little bit quick, and it's really easy to miss some stages on there. So I'm following these. And I also got a disclaimer off Sticky that says, I would kindly ask you to respect a strict publishing embargo until January the 7th. It's the middle of bloody winter. How am I going to test those in the middle of winter in Norway? That's a disadvantage, I suppose, of being in the cold north. Now, another thing that Sticky, I've had a little bit of a correspondence on email and Messenger with Sticky. He actually, one of the few jobs both I and he recommends you do with the motor in the scooter. The reason for that is because unlike some other YouTubers have shown, the important bit here is that the brake shoes are actually activated when you align them, because that's the important bit. It doesn't matter how they are when they're in unused condition, they have to be actuated. And to activate it and have free hands, what I've decided to do is fit a brake cable on this. I'm just going to use the trunnion end and just fit that into the adjuster block, and I'm going to fit the original adjuster wheel thingy on the back here, so that gives me a chance to be able to tighten up the rear brake while still giving me free fingers. So let me do that first. So what I've done now is fit my choke cable so that the trunnion bit of the choke cable is inside the trunnion on the adjuster block. I've wound out the screw on the adjuster block. The nice thing about that is I've got two adjustments. So I've just wound that out on the adjuster block in there. Hopefully I can zoom it in and you can have a little look at it. Maybe, we'll see. And this turny thing here. And now I'm just going to fit the brake pads. First, I have to find the spring for the brake pads. Where are they? It's really important that your threads are in good nick. This is actually one of the sections on Sticky's instructions. I completely ignored them, but I couldn't get the one of the brake pins wouldn't go in. So I'm chasing it with M8 by, is it 125? If I put my glasses on, I'll be able to tell you. I'll tell you as soon as I've chased these threads. They were a bit. It's been to the Aqua Blaster, so they weren't going in loosely, which is nice. So the threads are good. It's just that I think there was some shit in there. So I have to blow that out with some compressed air or my mouth. And I'm just going to check how these ones are. These ones are fine. I can just thread it in by hand. And the thread pitch is not fine, it's the other one. Oh, let me get my glasses. Ugh. I can't read it. I think it's just normal M8, not the fine pitched one. Right, let's just tidy this up a bit. We can start the fitting procedure, which I'm quite looking forward to actually. It looks like a little bit faff on the videos that I've seen, but I don't think it's as bad. First job is to fit the brake pins and the tab washer. Obviously the tab washer has got a wiggly bit on the top and a roundy bit at the bottom. It won't fit the other way around. The tab washer is being used because we need to stop them from moving once we've shinned it up. And yeah, I suppose it's in product description. So we wind those down. And let's follow the instructions. I use a 40mm spanner. Tighten those down to when they stop. Both in the same position, which is a good start really. And the manual says to wind them back one full turn. So that means they need to go all the way back. Or was it 180 degrees? What does it say? Read the instructions, Rob. Wind the pins fully in and then back one full turn out. So that's correct. Let me loosen that again. One full turn out. Come on, please. Behave. One full turn out. That's good. Fit the brake shoes as normal, it says. We'll do that. One thing I did wrongly already, we obviously can't read as scooterist, is it does say wind them back one full turn and then point them 90 degrees to the edge. So I'm going to do that before I start trying to set these up. I would really like, and I mentioned this, I would really like to have had a hex or something on the top here, so that you don't have to manhandle it with pliers to move the pins. But it has been pointed out that it's harder to get the lines on there correctly when you've got a big hole in the top. But still, I don't know, I think you'd probably be able to machine it might be more expensive. Hex or Torx on the top there. So I'm going to line those pins up so that they are 90 degrees to the drum. That's about right, I think. The instructions actually say the top tip is to point them a good starting position for the pins is to point the arrows on the top towards the flywheel. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean 90 degrees that way towards the flywheel? What do you mean, Sticky? Tell us. I think I'll do as I'm told. I'm pointing those towards the flywheel, like so. We'll try that. Next page of the instructions, it says, assemble the alignment tool using the rear hub cone mounted upside down, hub cone, upside down, followed by the, let's have a look, let me read this, followed by the tool, followed by the tool, then followed by the two thick spacer washers. Am I supposed to be using this first, and then two thick spacer washers on the top, and then we need a nut to tighten down there. I actually got, what's this off? Is this off the clutch? Is it big enough? It's just you don't have to mess around with the nylock. Yeah, that's big enough, that'll do the job. That's interfering with the brake plate. I need to put at least one of those washers underneath. I obviously could have just lifted up the screw in the tool, but yeah, that's going to work, isn't it? Or is it? Not very. I need a proper nut. This is an old hub nut. I'm just going to put another shim on the top there, another spacer on the top so that it doesn't interfere. So what the instructions say to do now is I've started to adjust these pins so that the tool just touches by adjusting the brake cable tensioner at the back here, like so. And what I can see is that my top brake pad is just touching the top there, but the bottom brake pad isn't. So what I think I need to do is adjust the lower pin so that the brake pad adjusts, just kisses that tool like on the top, because as it stands at the moment, my top brake pad is touching, my bottom one won't, so they just actuate the brake on one of the pads, which is not what really is the whole point of this exercise, is so that I get a nice uniform there. Just touching, just gripping that. It's just scraping it at the back, but not at the front. So I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to take that almost a whole turn around to get it to adjust forwards. There. Not quite, too far. There. So this is sort of the point of this kit, is that you have to actuate the brake cam itself so you know which pad is touching first. Otherwise, there's no point. So it's a good idea, I reckon, to use a little bit of time on this part here to make sure that that goes evenly. And at the moment, it's not. I need to push this back a bit. But trying to figure out what does what when I turn. Not that easy, really. Am I taking... That's where it stopped. I need to push it back. I think there. Now it's touching, but does it touch too much? You might have noticed as well, when you've tried to fit a new hub with new brake blocks, new brake pads, that the hub is in contact and you have to take some material off. It's just touching there. I need to pull it in a tad. There, will that do? Will that do the job? That's good, that's good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wind it on a couple of turns, the brake wire, and see if I can provoke some dragging. It's dragging now, but it's dragging all the way around, not quite on the front edge there. This one drags from here, not quite on the front edge again. Drag, 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 drag. I think that's about as I can get, as good as I can get it, to be honest. It's dragging on the front edge there. Move it back slightly. Let's see if that helps. Nice. It is worth taking the time to wind on that wire and see where it actually hits first. This is looking good, actually. So what I have to do now, according to the manual, let's have a read. So I've used about 15 minutes on this, just realigning, readjusting those pins, just so that I can get and adjusting the tension on the brake cam, just to get as much brake shoe as possible to contact the hub at once. It's not 100% perfect, but I think this is about as close as I can get it. It's actually the leading edge on the lower shoe is going to be touching the hub last, but from here I'm going to have all this is pretty uniform all the way around there, all the way around there. So that's like 80% of that pad touching the hub. And on top, it is uniform all the way around. Yeah. So what I think... I mean, there you go. It just goes to show that these aren't perfect, even though it's an Italian case. So the instructions say what I have to do now is take a picture, and I really want to try and replicate that position. Before I do that, what I want to do is I want to see if I can wind those in 180 degrees to see if it'll go, because obviously I will get the same result if I can put the pins where they are, but winding them in one turn. Then I don't have to use as many shims. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm actually going to cheat a tiny little bit and just put a little dot there and there. That actually wasn't quite right at all. Put a little dot there and there and there, just to see if I can wind those in another 180 degrees. No, 360, which I doubt. No, it stops there, so I definitely have to use that. And on this one, it also stops there, so I have to fit that there as well. Now, the nice thing is, these shims, they add different, that's about a quarter turn. I think the skinnier shims, add about a quarter turn. So I'll try that first. Take off the tool and shim this up. I ended up using one of the fat shims and one of the thinner shims on the top. And on the bottom, I ended up just using the fatter shims. I actually found that the marks that I made on the tab washer with my tyre marker were a little bit easier to follow than the picture on my telephone. And now they line up perfectly on that. I'm just going to check my photo. Oh yes, sir. Brilliant. So that's bob on actually, so I'm really pleased with that. Now it's just the case of winding off the brake wire again, and instead of having to faff around with that, I'm just going to cut it off and fit my shoes. There you go. For what it's worth, I fit this brake paste. This is from Worth. This is actually the one that comes if you buy BGM brake pads. You don't really need that much. It's just to stop them seizing on the brake posts. Just a tiny smear and a bit on the cam itself. You can use copper pasta as well. If you use 2 or 3 of the smaller shims on the pin, then fit one on either side of the brake shoe. If you use 4 or 5 of the smaller shims, fit the brake shoes, then both of those on top. Aha, I'm with you. Just have to get it in with a teaspoon. Because I fit just 2 shims, then I can use one of these on the bottom, one on the top. If you use more of those, then you fit both of these on the top. That's obviously to center it on the hub. Before I fit the pads, I'm going to ease up the tab washer. Good old boots and braces, eh? Looking at the Stickies video, they compress this spring a little bit in the middle. Should ease fitting it, and they do have a go at trying to put this on with their fingers, which is not going to work, is it? Where is my? And actually, I think they use. It looks like they use a circlip plier. I've got a more beefy one. Where's that? Where's the beefy circlip plier? This one. Put that on there, and that down there. I need bigger hands. Oh, that was easy peasy. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Let's see if the hub fits, shall we? Because it's been 6 months since I built this engine, I'm just using my complete spanner's manual with the shim identification chart here. It's really handy, just to make sure I fit the rear shim under the thank you very much, sir, which is isn't that handy, huh? Stuff you didn't think we would need. So that is the hub affixed. Obviously I haven't torqued it down yet, and that goes round pretty freely. It does drag slightly. I might take up the hub and have a bit of a look of where, if I've got a high spot. It wasn't completely perfect, but yeah, what I have to say is this is the first time I've been able to fit a new hub and new brake pads without actually skimming the pads themselves. And as they say, the proof is in the pudding. As soon as I've got this together, and by the magic of internet, I will be out on the road testing to see how this rear brake fares. I locked up the back brake there a couple of times. Wow, what a fantastic rear brake that is. Very annoyingly, I think it means that I might have to fit that eccentric brake pin kit to my own scooters, even though I've got a cast case. Oh well, that's life. Don't forget, if you like this kind of video, give me the old thumbs up. Please do subscribe. Not long until I have 9,000 subscribers, I think, and I'm just under 2 million views, which is pretty amazing. If you fancy supporting the channel properly, you can also consider becoming a member, and I will love you and leave you probably broke, because I have to buy a couple of extra eccentric brake pins for this one and the sledgehammer, but never mind, you live and learn. Always good when product works as it should do. Ta-ra!